How you can intuitively detect and deter gaslighting is by becoming aware of vibration that's coming at you. So let's talk about the difference between lies and bullshit and gaslighting. Lies. Usually the person that is a liar or is telling a lie, usually they are doing it to protect themselves, and it's rarely ever about you. It's about them. Their lying is created for reasons that are about them, and it's usually to protect themselves. Lies. Bullshit. Bullshit is actually worse than lying, because bullshit is the intention of the bullshitter to deceive, and to deceive you. Maybe they're deceiving a whole group of people, right? But its intention is to deceive you. It is all about you and seeing what they can get away with by being a bullshitter, okay? And then there's gaslighting, the worst of the three in my humble opinion. Gaslighting is an attempt to control you through manipulation in a way that causes confusion in you and causes you to have self-doubt. Doubt about yourself. This is why it is particularly ugly. And gaslighters usually have something to hide. They don't want the mask ripped off. They don't want to be exposed or exposed to the light. They don't want the real them or the real situation to be discovered. They're hiding something. And it's not necessarily to protect themselves. It's usually that they're hiding something maybe they're ashamed of, or that they want to be able to easily cover their tracks about so that they're not further discovered, or they want an easy way out that doesn't make them look bad, right? Or look like they weren't being accountable to their words, their responsibility, or even to what it was that they were saying, okay? So gaslighting, right? It's when they are trying to manipulate and control in a way that causes you to feel like you need to take a minute and say, wait a second, am I confused here? Did I get it wrong? Those are the telltale signs that you're in a gaslighting situation. Now, not every situation like that is gaslighting, right? Sometimes people literally have just, genuine misunderstandings. Then the person says, oh, I'm so sorry, I did make myself clear. Let me tell you what it is. When somebody personally attacks you and says, wait a second, you this, you that, you, that's usually a gaslighter. All right, so the studies that I've read about gaslighting indicate that gaslighting is used because it works. Most people will give someone the benefit of the doubt and think that maybe they didn't understand it, particularly women, right? We're often told we're crazy, we're imagining things. We change our minds too much, we probably don't remember what it was we said, right? So gaslighting occurs it's most effective in close relationships. Because if there's somebody, that you're in a relationship with, or you have a very formal relationship with, or it's a relationship that isn't important to you, right? You usually are not going to tolerate gaslighting. It's just going to be something that, you're going to be like, no, and you're going to walk away. However, when it's an important relationship, your spouse, your partner, your families, your friends, even your coworkers, this is where, the relationship has some value to you, and so that you will begin to succumb, right, to the manipulation. So let me give you some examples here. Your partner says, I'm going to work. You discover a rational reason to believe that they didn't go to work. So you ask your partner when you see the partner, didn't you say you were going to work? And the partner says, I never said I went to work. You're imagining things. Now you know what you heard, but you begin to self-doubt, thinking, did I get that wrong? Maybe, he was saying he was going to work if, maybe there was a condition on it. Maybe, there's confusion. Oh, you're confused. So gaslighters want you to believe that you got it wrong, that you're imagining things, that somehow you're confused, you misunderstood what they said, right? And that you just don't remember clearly, right? So this is their device, right? Confusion and creating self-doubt. That has a huge range from being something that's very subtle to being something that's so serious that they are creating scenarios in your home to make you believe that you're losing it, right? That's what the famous Gaslight movie in the 1930s or 40s was about, that coined the term gaslighting. So most people don't call out gaslighters, right? They let it go, or they wonder, did I get it wrong? Is it me? They put some time and space there and really examine themselves. Here's the self-doubt, right? It worked, right? As soon as the minute you start self-doubting yourself. So it's not, right? You didn't get it wrong. You're not confused. You didn't forget. You didn't misunderstand, okay? And your intuition can detect gaslighting sometimes way before it happens, okay? Let that sink in for a minute, right? Because the vibration comes before the brain receives the information and makes sense of it. We have the ability to receive vibration, and then it takes a minute for us to get it, interpret it, send it up to the brain, and then the brain makes sense of it. Then our ego jumps in and sometimes tries to control or take over or rationalize, or gee, does that make sense, right? With their intuition. So the vibration is already coming before it even happens. And the vibration will arrive, and sometimes it starts way ahead of time, where the thread or the messages start and the conversation starts to lose some clarity. You'll find that, your conversation partner, or whoever you're communicating with, maybe they won't answer a question directly, right? And then you're left wondering what the answer to the question is. Did they hear me? See how it starts real subtly, right? They purposely don't answer the question, and you're thinking, is it me? Did I not answer the question loud enough? Did they miss the question? Should I ask the question again? You see, gaslighting already in play. Maybe they respond to your messages, like your text messages or emails or something, with emoticons and, giffies that are wide open for interpretation. You're supposed to figure it out. They deny they ever said this or that, even though you have, a text or recall a conversation of the exact words. So when the actual gaslighting occurs, it's a defense. The actual gaslighting. This is when they negate what you said. They tell you that you were imagining things. Their response is you. And this one is, so what they're really trying to do is to cover their tracks and to further hide whatever it is that they don't want you to know or realize or to see, right? And often the gaslighting response, it falls in the realm of personal attack or abuse. The way that I take a look at it is you versus I, right? As I said earlier, if it's a genuine mistake, someone say, oh, I'm sorry that, I was confusing. Let me clarify that for you. Instead of, you're always confused. I didn't say that. I never said that. You don't know what you're talking about. You're imagining things. You misinterpreted it. Okay, so if you call out a gaslighter with your proof, and of course that's a decision you have to make, whether or not it's a relationship that's valuable and you want to, just sort of create a boundary about what's acceptable of how they treat you and how they don't, or if it's not that important to you, and then you're just not going, you're going to withdraw your energy and not deal with that person very much. So if you call a gaslighter out with proof, they either further attack you with a new subject. I call that scattering the marbles, right? To create confusion and get you off topic. Or, what happens, you get ghosted. And, and then that's really your proof that you were gaslit, right? Especially when you bust them, when you bust the gaslighter. So your intuition, your natural intuition, born with it, your body's your intuitive instrument. Your intuition can help you way ahead of the game. You'll sense the gaslighting coming from the person that is the gaslighter, has something to hide, or is just trying to create confusion to cover themselves and make sure that they aren't held accountable. And then all you need to do after you sense it coming is to watch for it. And when it comes, then you can decide if you're going to stand in your truth and say, no, that's not what I said. Or no, I heard you perfectly clear. And this is what you said. Or you can show them proof or whatever. You can decide if you want to take it that way. And if the relationship's not that important to you, you might not really want to, you might not want to engage, or you might just want to engage enough to say, no, that isn't my recollection. This is what I thought it was, and then just move on from it. But you don't have to interact too much with that person going forward, because gaslighters are not trustworthy, right? They're hiding something. They'll do whatever they can to not reveal their secret or to not have it be discovered, right? Or they are already in advance doing what I call preemptive covering of their tracks. This is so that they won't have to be accountable or responsible for their words or their actions, okay? So I've had this happen to me recently. In fact, it was as recent as yesterday, where I had a telephone call with the customer service rep about an online order that I placed that got totally screwed up on their end, both how it was paid, how it was going to be delivered, how the returns were going to be handled. And as I was talking to the customer service rep, he said to me, I can see why you're confused. And that's my trigger. And I said, no, I am not confused. I understood everything that you said. I heard what you said. I know exactly what's going on in this situation. It's a simple situation. And now let me inform you how it will be resolved to my satisfaction as your customer, or I won't be your customer anymore. Right? Clarity and direct is how you deal with a gaslighter. Clarity, direct, and proof if you're going to engage, right? So that's how insidious it is in our society, where customer service reps are trained to say to the customer, I can see why you're confused. We didn't do that. You did. It's something you must have clicked the button on your end. So you see, and it's become so common and it works so beautifully because most people won't engage or won't correct it, that it just becomes even a way of doing business, right? So this is why I say your intuition, developing your intuition, training your intuitive ability, being able to recognize vibration goes a long way in helping you to detect before it comes and to deter when it's in process and to be able to avoid it in the future. Right? After you get really good at being able to read the vibration, you'll be able to feel it and see it coming, whether it's someone that's right in front of you, or in my case, like yesterday, where it was somebody who was on the telephone with me. Because energy is energy. You can feel the vibration comes right through the telephone line at you. So ways to train your intuition so that you can detect and deter gaslighting. So let me give you a couple of ways that will be helpful for you. The first is when you have that situation, or the trigger or the gaslighter is creating confusion, that your first default is, wait a second, is it something, am I confused? Is it something that I did or said? The best way to deal with that is to just stop what you're doing, take a couple breaths in, put your hand on your heart, right? So you have this connection with your heart, which is connected to your higher self. This is also where our intuition first comes into play, with our higher self and our heart spaces before it goes to the brain. And you'll be able to ask that question. Is this true? Does it ring true? Is what is present, the sentence, the text, the message, the person, is the message and the communication, is that true? And you will listen to your heart space for what is true and what isn't true. Okay? Now, it works. It's easy to do if your head isn't rationalizing and trying to make excuses for the gaslighter too, right? You're trying to save something here. You're trying to do them a favor. You're trying to not make be a nice girl, right? So throw all that out the window. Forget that. And what you want to do is you want to monitor for the truth. So you can put your hand on your head and say, is this true? You can even repeat exactly what was said. Is this true? Did they, is what they're saying, am I in the presence of truth, or am I in the presence of non-truth? Okay, so now, if you don't understand the vibration, right, then you have a little bit more work to do. And the little bit more work to do is that you need to be able to train yourself to understand the difference in the vibration of truth and a lie or a non-truth. Sometimes it's not a lie. Sometimes it's bullshit. And sometimes it's gaslighting. And sometimes it's a lie. All right, but let's just work. We'll categorize that as a non-truth. So this would also include half-truths, by the way. Right? Gaslighters are great at the half-truth. To make you believe that, yeah, you heard what you heard. Yeah, I was in the room with you, but I didn't say that, right? Instead of a liar, I wasn't even in the room with you. And a bullshitter is like, go on, you were in the room by yourself. So what you want to do is be able to differentiate between truth and non-truth as a vibration intuitively. A great way to do this, and it really does, it works best with, a partner, a friend, somebody that you can practice with. If you don't have someone to practice with, you can use a recording device. But what you want to do is ask yourself, a couple of questions that are very simple that you know the answer to, obviously. It could be something simple like, where's my favorite place to go on vacation? Let's say you say your favorite place to go on vacation is Paris. All right, so then the other person would say to you, your favorite place to go on vacation is Paris. That's true. So you would feel the vibration of that's true. Then you practice the other way, where you know that Paris is your favorite place to go on vacation, but instead, the person says to you, your least favorite place to go on vacation is Paris. And it said as a statement. And then you feel what that feels like. And a lot of, oftentimes when this happens, a lot of emotions come to the surface. Some people get angry. They know that's a lie. Paris is my favorite place to go on vacation. And you can feel the heaviness of that negative vibe, plus being informed by the vibration of your emotions, right? Or maybe you're just like, wait a second, maybe you feel confused. That's not true. Is this person actually lying to me? That's the vibration, right? So you get to understand intuitively, okay, what your body feels when it's feeling the vibration of truth and when it's feeling the vibration of a non-truth. And that's what you use to inform you about what is present. And you can use it, obviously, when you're in the presence of a lie, when you're in the presence of bullshit, or when you're in the presence of a gaslighting on you.